Hey you guys, I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday today. We're talking about fruit. If we haven't met yet, my name is Tanessa Shears. I'm a weight loss coach for women. My job is to deliver you the information as succinctly and accurately as I can so that you can make decisions that benefit your health and your body. I mean, don't we all want to look good? Don't we all want to feel good? So my goal today is to talk to you about fruit. So if you have not watched the video that I shared into this group yesterday on the changes that I made that completely changed my life, I either want you to go watch that now and come back to this, or watch this and then go watch that, because in that video I shared with you how life-changing it was to give up sugar and flour. And also, you know, that it wasn't easy, but the benefits that I got on the other end were absolutely astounding. And I mean, I've had people reaching out to me, all kinds of excited about the possibility of a life where you feel that good all the time. So I love having your guys' questions, and Jennifer asked a really good question in the comments on that video. She asked me, well, what about fruit? Do you eat fruit? So the long and short answer is I want to be able to tell you what I would do with my clients in regards to fruit, and then afterwards I'll tell you what I'm doing in regards to fruit, because the whole point of this group and working, you know, together in these videos is not for me to put out there what I eat, when I eat, and what I exercise, and for you to copy it, because ultimately your body is different than mine. Your hormones are different than mine. Your, you know, potentially your injuries or your limitations, or you might be better at me than something. Your microbiome in your gut. There are so many things that are different between us. So what I want to do is offer you a solution that you try and see if it fits with you. So let's get started. We're talking about fruit. So I'm sure you've heard so many times, some coaches will say no fruit, some coaches will say yes fruit, but what I want you to do is understand why we might consider having or eliminating fruit so you can make that decision for yourself. So if we're on the journey of either just getting healthy or losing weight, and I'm going to refer a lot to weight management because I am a weight loss coach for women. So if you are in the process of losing body fat right now, we've discussed over and over again that calories in, calories out is a garbage myth. We're okay with letting go with that now. So if that is not true, what is left? What is left is hormones. And your hormones, excuse me, are going to be dictating whether or not you hold on to your body fat. And specifically, one hormone is running the show in your body, and that hormone is called insulin. So if we're going to talk about insulin, insulin is a hormone that exists in the body to help us regulate our blood sugar. So what happens is when we eat a meal, especially a meal that is higher in carbohydrates, and carbohydrates come in all shapes and sizes. They come from vegetables to fruit to grains like potatoes and quinoa and rice, and they come in wheat and starch. And there's so many different ways carbohydrates show up in our diet. But when we eat those, what happens is they induce a rise in the sugar levels in your blood. So insulin is actually a great hormone. Its job is to come along and bring these back down by shuttling all of this energy either into muscle cells to use for energy or into our fat or liver cells to store. So insulin is a storage hormone. It makes you store fat. Store fat. So when we chronically have high levels of this insulin, meaning we're eating a lot of high density carbohydrate foods, insulin is higher, which means there is a higher likelihood that you are storing body fat. And here's something else quite interesting. You have like a bajillion hormones in your body, okay? The other one that is a concern is a hormone called leptin. Leptin is a hormone that tells the brain we are full. We don't need to eat anymore, stop eating. But the problem is when insulin is high all the time from all these high carbohydrate meals, what happens is it quiets leptin. It doesn't let leptin get through, so the brain isn't able to tell that we're full. So all kinds of things happen. What I basically want you to understand is that when you eat carbohydrate foods, insulin goes up. When insulin goes up, you go into fat storage mode. And that's not something we want. We want to be able to get fat out of storage so that we can see the tone in our arms and our stomach and start really feeling good. So now here's where the whole thing comes back to fruit. There are certain carbohydrates that induce a larger insulin response than others. So certain carbohydrates you eat spike blood sugar faster and higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a rough idea of which carbohydrates are more insulin spiking and which ones are less insulin spiking. So I want to make a note first of all that this is a general idea, and then I'm going to go into some specifics after that. Okay, so the least blood sugar raising, insulin producing thing you can eat are fats. Fats in almonds, fats in cashews, fats in fats in dairy, fats in meat, avocados, nuts, seeds, you know the deal. Fats. Then below that, which is slightly more insulin producing, is protein. And this also includes things like, your beans and your lentils and stuff like that. Below protein is vegetables. Vegetables are the next lowest thing. So if we're talking fats, have the lowest insulin response, so they don't affect your blood sugar that much. Then protein, then vegetables, then grains. And what I mean when I say grains specifically, rices, brown rices, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potato, yams, all of these foods. So again, least in producing fat, protein, vegetables, grains, and below grains is fruit. So you can see where we're getting. We're getting to the bottom of this chain. So right below fruit is wheat products, and right below wheat products is sugar. So you can see where the dilemma about fruit comes in because it has a higher insulin response, meaning of all the foods you can eat, it's in the bottom 3 categories of foods that affect your blood sugar. So now, the reason why fruit sometimes gets the pass is because it comes with a lot of fiber inside the skin of the fruit. So what fiber does is it actually slows the spike of blood sugar. So when we eat carbohydrates, when you eat them with the presence of fiber, that tends to mitigate that big jump in blood sugar. So what we want to be thinking is that, if I'm going to eat carbohydrates, vegetables are by far my first choice. They have loads of fiber. They're low in carbohydrates in general. They're nutrient dense and so good for you, followed by grains, and then fruit, and then flour and sugar is at the bottom. So something also to know is in that if we know that, okay, well, fruit is going to spike my blood sugar, I'm aware of that. What we need to do is, in general now, I'm going to give you an idea. There is a spectrum of better to less better in the fruit world, meaning some fruits have a higher blood sugar response and some fruits have a lower blood sugar response. So things like if I were to make my own personal fruit choices, I tend to stick towards the berries. I like blueberries, I like strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. Those for me and in general have a lesser blood sugar response than fruits on the other end of the spectrum, things like bananas and pineapples. These things definitely cause a larger spike in blood sugar than do berries. So remember, we don't want our blood sugar to go up because when it does, insulin goes up. And insulin is a fat storage hormone and it blocks other hormones from telling the brain that it's full and to release stored body fat. So we don't want that. So if we're looking along this spectrum and we're going to eat some fruit, we want to stick to fruits that cause a less response in insulin. I hope that really makes sense. So this is why, there are certain fruits that are better than others. Now, here's where it's going to get more and less confusing. You and I are very different, meaning you might be able to tolerate the blood sugar spike or lack of spike from a banana differently than me, versus I might be able to tolerate blueberries better than you might be able to tolerate blueberries. So here is the questions I want you to start asking yourself. Say you had a banana. What I want you to think is 2 hours after you eat that banana, am I hungry already? Am I experiencing a bit of an energy crash? Those are both symptoms of an insulin spike and a blood sugar spike, because whenever you have a spike, you have a valley, and the valleys are what are causing that intense hunger. So when you eat a piece of fruit, you need to ask yourself, Am I feeling hungry right after? Am I getting a rush of energy and then a crash? Is there any jittery or headache business happening right after I eat the fruit? So if you were to eat a fruit which didn't affect you as intensely, you would have a small increase in blood sugar and a small decrease, meaning you probably wouldn't be hungry 2 to 3 hours later. You'd feel sustained energy and you would feel really great. So that is how you test with yourself which fruits are best for you. So the really interesting thing is if you want to be really scientific, nerdy, and accurate about it, what you can do is test this on yourself first thing when you wake up in the morning, because first thing in the morning, you are the most sensitive to changes in blood sugar. Because you have fasted all night, you haven't had any food, your natural blood sugar levels are at their lowest. So what you eat in the morning will affect your blood insulin levels and your blood sugar much more than any other time of day. So a good test is to say, all right, in the morning, I'm going to have a banana. And you are going to watch closely what happens both to your body and to your brain in the next 2 to 3 hours. I'm talking about things like lethargy, fatigue, bloat, crashes, hunger. Pay attention to all of that. If you're eating a food which is supporting a stable blood sugar level, those things shouldn't happen. So what I then ask clients to do, because I do have clients that love fruit. So what I say is, all right, you love fruit. We like that. Let's try this. I want you to eat for 1 to 2 weeks, just as you're normally doing, but I want you to pay close attention to what's happening around those fruit eating activity times. What's happening to the energy, everything we already talked about. Then, at the 2-week mark, what I want you to do is remove fruit from one of the meals. So maybe you're a lunchtime fruit eater. Remove that fruit from lunch. Don't replace it with another fruit. Maybe replace it with a healthy protein or a fat, avocado, some nuts, something that doesn't spike your insulin and your blood sugar. And then say, okay, how am I feeling? Then you can evaluate that way whether sugar or the fruit sugar is adding to your nutrition plan or taking away. This is such a key thing to do, and it is about constantly experimenting with yourself so that you know what works for you. Because if you go and get a diet plan off the internet and it has you eating no fruit or fruit, who knows if that's actually going to help you, or you're going to end up miserable, and you're not going to be able to control your food cravings, and your blood sugar is all over the place. So my challenge to you is to be more in tune with yourself and take your word for it and listen to your body and rely less on structured plans that have you eating certain meals at certain times. So that is the information I have for you regarding fruit. But what I wanted to share with you is what I do for fruit and what I'm doing this week to see if, I can make a difference in my health and my life, because we are never static, meaning the meal plan and the way I'm eating now might be different in a year from now or 6 months from now. It is my job to take responsibility for my body and make sure I'm experimenting in a way in which I'm optimizing my health. So here is what I do. For the longest time, and I'm talking probably the last 6 years, every morning I have woke up and I have a bowl of oatmeal, so just a third cup, with some chia seeds, with maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of mixed blueberries and strawberries. And that is all I have for fruit in my diet. It's not that I don't like fruit, it's just I don't tend to gravitate towards fruit in general. It wasn't something I blanket ever decided to cut out. It's just kind of the way my preferences went. And I do like fruit and I'll enjoy it, but it's not my thing. However, I have made a change this week because I am continually pursuing feeling better and more alive and more vibrant. So what I did was, starting actually yesterday, I've been conducting an experiment on myself in which I removed the oatmeal from breakfast. And instead, what I've been doing is I've been having 3 eggs and some egg whites and bacon bits in there, and made in a little bit of butter with some cashews. So very high protein, high fat. And I have eliminated the fruit and the oatmeal. And I'm going to tell you what came up in my head when I decided to do that. Your workouts are going to suffer. You're going to faint in the middle of the gym. You need energy for your brain. There's no way you could do this. This isn't healthy. You need to, bring cortisol levels down in the morning. You won't be able to focus. You know that brain chatter when you commit to something? and all that chatter happens, here is where you have to go through courage and decide that, you know what, I'm trying this for a week. If I don't like it, no big deal. I go back to normal. So, starting yesterday, I've only been eating that source of protein and fat in the morning, skipping through my oatmeal, blueberries, and strawberry. And this is super premature to tell that these are any conclusive results, but here's what I've observed so far. There has been no difference in the quality of my workout despite not having carbohydrates before or fruit, which I always thought was necessary for a good workout. So no change in my workouts. I am no longer hungry 2 hours after breakfast, which is fascinating to me and makes total sense that my oatmeal and blueberries and strawberries were causing an insulin spike, which was then experiencing the crash and I had to eat again. Okay, so not only are my workouts fine, but I'm not getting hungry 2 hours later. And the other change I've noticed so far is that by the end of the day yesterday, excuse me, something in my throat. So by the end of the day yesterday, I was as vibrant as I feel first thing in the morning while I was getting into bed. And I looked at my boyfriend and I was like, I'm on fire today. I feel amazing. And the crazy thing is, we're on day 2 of this now. I had my first meal this morning at about 7 a.m. I had the eggs and bacon and a little bit of butter and coffee, of course. I still haven't had my second meal, and I'm going to be having that in about 15 minutes, right after I get off here. But, so 7 a.m., if I remember the time, it's about 1 p.m. right now. And I haven't gotten hungry yet, which tells me my blood sugar is stable. And I love that. I think that is fascinating, and I'm just having a coffee right now. So not only are my workouts fine, but I'm not getting hungry in 2 hours, and I'm feeling vibrant all day long. So I'm curious to see how the rest of this week goes. But this is what I mean about using your life to make your health better through experimenting what feels better. I'm not looking at the scale right now. I'm not looking at anything other than how my brain feels at the end of the day, because I feel sharper, I feel clearer, I feel more energetic, and I don't know if this has just to do with that, but wouldn't that be worth experimenting to try to find out? Just eliminating the fruit from that one meal? So anyways, this has been full of information. I highly recommend, if you haven't watched yesterday's video all about, what the crazy miraculous effects of pulling wheat and sugar out of my diet have been, go watch that, rewatch this, take some notes, and set up your own experiment this week. Set it up. What do you want to do? What do you want to change? How do you want to feel? Know that there is an option out there to have sustained energy, no food cravings, feeling amazing and vibrant all day long. This is an option, and it all has to do with taking care of your hormones. Taking care of your hormones, and that starts by maintaining a healthy blood sugar level. So I hope this has been amazing for you guys. If you right now are sitting there going, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I would love to invite you to work one-on-one with me. I have a program called Body Smart Coaching. It's a 12-week one-on-one coaching where I take you through this process of completely changing your mindset around food. And not only that, it is not only dealing with the whole drama about cravings and over-desiring food and feeling hungry all the time, but I teach you how to quiet the drama going on in your head. You know the chatter I'm talking about, the whole do I eat it, don't I eat it, this is so hard, I'm feeling restricted. All of that is drama. And this is what's missing from most of our attempts at getting healthy and well, is that we don't take care of managing our mind and our brain. And I'm going to tell you, all of these choices and habits you're trying to implement right now with your health are so much easier when you are calm and mentally, feel alive and you're managed. So this is all the stuff that I teach. If you want more details on it, you can head over to TanessaShears.com/bodysmart. And if you have any questions about this, I would love for you to drop them in the comments below. Let's get the conversation go about fruit and about how you can live a better and more fulfilled, vibrant life. You guys have a beautiful Tuesday, and I will see you later.